of Series 1. Sky original comedy Bloods, about an oddball group of paramedics, returns this week.
South London's unlikely blue light duo Wendy and Maleek are back together, saving lives and causing chaos. And Jane Horrocks joins us now. Jane, brilliant. Bloods 2 out. Can you tell us a bit about the series? And did you spend any time with a paramedic?
Yes, we did. In the first series, we had a sort of little introductory course, and I got very good at opening the doors of an ambulance.
Did you?
Yes, and lowering the footrest and getting the stretcher in.
I would see. The thing is, I just want to drive it and have the blue lights on.
Well, that's what Samson does. I'm not allowed to drive it. I did drive it a little bit in the first series, and I actually crashed into a wall. No. I had to go around at high speed, and I did scrape the vehicle.
So they've said no now?
And they said, probably best not.
Yeah.
But now we have to drive on a low loader, so we're sort of like, we're not actually out there, we're sort of on this kind of thing that carries us, and then you've got the camera in front of us. But sometimes we get to go, you know, out stray.
What's lovely with the series itself? I mean, obviously they were very mismatched in the first series, and you know, sort of pretty poor relationship, which improves, and then suddenly now, you know, it is very different. And for you, I suppose, looking at a role like that, there's a lot of comedy in a good double act.
Yes, I mean, Samson and I are very lucky that we just gelled. We just, you know, we kind of just, it happened for us. And it sometimes doesn't, you know, sometimes you don't gel. But it really does for us, I think, because we make each other laugh and we sort of corpse all the time, much to the annoyance of the rest of the crew. but we do make each other laugh. And it just, you know, it is an unlikely pairing, but it works.
But he's written it.
He's co-created it with Nathan Bryan.
And your character, Wendy, is actually based on a friend of yours. So what was that like to play her?
Well, she's my lovely friend who is from Nottingham. And I think I can do an impersonation of her, but she's just such a lovely person. So when I read this script, and I thought, oh, Wendy's just, you know, she's just a non-judgmental person who sees the best in everybody. And
this is your friend? This
is my friend. And I thought, who can I base it on? I thought, well, it's just an obvious, it's Esther. So that's who I based it on. And
so Esther's her name?
Esther,
and Esther knows all about this?
Esther knows all about this. She's a very giving person, so she's not like, how dare you steal my personality for Bloods.
And so for you, with something like this, we were talking about this in the break a moment ago, it's a very funny comedy, but you do have the ability to show and shine a light on the minds of the paramedics as well. I mean, it's the most rewarding job, but also it can be so damaging when you see what you see.
Well, yes, and they really wanted to focus with the second series on the mental health of paramedics, and so they brought in a character called George, who's played by Catherine Kelly, and so she's a mental health counsellor, and she's kind of there to challenge Jo, who's played by Lucy Punch, who runs the operation. On her sort of ethics behind mental health, which is just give them a can of beer, basically. So that kind of thread goes right through the second series of, you know, kind of, you know, Catherine's character trying to break down Lucy's to understand, actually, that counselling is very, very important for paramedics with, you know, what they've seen, what they encounter.
Yeah.
So would you say that this series, then, has moved away from the comedy slightly and gone towards the drama a little bit more?
Well, there are lots of comedy moments in it, but I think each of the partnerships experience something quite dramatic and quite challenging for the partnerships as well. So there is a lot more drama, I think, in this series than there was in the first, yeah.
Because there's also Wendy's very needy son, who is
so he's played by Nathan Ford. He's called Spencer, and he's very annoying. And so the first part of the series is kind of Wendy trying to get rid of him because he's just spoiling her life. You know, she's having such a good time, and then he comes and spoils it.
She has, because as far as Maleek is concerned, you know, one of the things that made me laugh in the relationship is she has more sex than he does.
Yeah, she does. She loves her sex, and yeah, exactly. She's having a better life than Samson. He talks about. She walks the talk.
It's lovely to see you. Thank you very much indeed. And the podcast, the Bees,
Yes.
Queen Bee, still successful.
Yes, well, that's who I do. I do the
This is
podcast with
Esther.
Esther. This is the Esther.
friend.
Yes, yes.
And you said that it's a podcast. You talk about bees, and you could talk about bees for 100 years.
Well, yes, but we're actually going to branch out and talk about sustainable living and sort of base it around her allotment and growing. And, yeah, so now she's teaching me about allotment living.
I thought for a moment you say we're going to branch out and do wasps.
No, not wasps, no way.
What an amazing friend.
But
Yeah,
Bloods
she's
is
an
season
amazing
2.
friend.
It's out on Wednesday on Sky Comedy and Now. And thank you, Jane. Lovely to
Thank
see
you, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you.